What is up, Storm fans? I am so excited, and I genuinely mean that. I am Bryant Cook, and I had a really good idea tonight while I was riding my bike. I was so excited that I called our guest for the night, Alex McKinley. I said, hey, Alex, we got to hop on a call and record this. So, Alex, what's up?
Not much. I was very surprised to be called by Bryant with this specific idea. After we talked about it for a little bit, I think it makes sense, and I am excited to try it and see what happens.
Alex, what is that idea?
Bryant, the madman, wants to cut Ponder from the Epic Storm and replace it with Mishra's Bauble. If you've been watching the channel for a long time, you might remember that right around pre-Modern Horizons 2, we were actually trying Mishra's Bauble over Rite of Flame because we were looking for a replacement at that time. And then all of those experiments kind of went away when Galvanic Relay got printed because you need the Rite of Flames to play with Galvanic Relay. But we cut Ponder every single time we play a blue matchup. So clearly the deck functions without Ponder. So what if we just never play Ponder and enable all of our other cards better?
Exactly. So like Alex mentioned, there's a bunch of videos here on the channel that you can watch with Mishra's Bauble, and then one of them is also called like the Mishra's Bauble trick with Ad Nauseam, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But the idea is that you get to make your Mox Opals way more consistent. So Mox Opal has Metalcraft. We're adding 4 more artifacts to the deck. Alex, we are now playing 22 artifacts, which is going to make this card so much more consistent. You're going to have better mana, and it's going to overall create a better flow. On top of that, Mishra's Bauble, we should probably say what it does, right? It's a 0-mana artifact. You get to look at the top card of target player's library, and then at the beginning of the next upkeep, you draw a card. Well, when you have effects like Fetch Land, so Verdant Catacombs, Bloodstained Mire, and Polluted Delta, you could shuffle your library, so you do get a little bit of selection like you would with Ponder. But Alex, what's the big payoff behind running a card like Mishra's Bauble in Legacy, and specifically in the Epic Storm?
It's just Metalcraft, right? Like that's the big deal.
I was trying to tee you up for Rednecker over here.
Oh, yeah. Of course. I mean, all the free cards for our Galvanic Relay is the point. That's why we have 2 of them in our main deck tonight. It's the slot we thought was... we wanted a little bit more action in the deck with the removal of Ponder. And Relay is just the next best action spell, and we need a little bit more sideboard space back. So it just made sense to do that.
Yeah, for sure. On top of that, Mishra's Bauble is a free spell that enables Mox Opal, so you're going to be able to cast Relay more often on the first turn and cash that Bauble in for a card. So we're playing 2 copies of Galvanic Relay, and something Alex and I have noticed in our data spreadsheets is that Galvanic Relay over time has just been taking over the Ad Nauseam percentage in the deck. So it used to be like, Alex, would you say 80% Ad Nauseam at one point?
It was very high, yeah. I think before we got all these other engines, it was probably like split between Ad Nauseam and Natural Storm into Empty the Wardens. There was an era when that was the deck.
Yeah, and it was about 80-20. So nowadays, and this is not an exaggeration, we're in the 30s. Ad Nauseam and Galvanic Relay are both, 30-20, and then we have Echo and Natural Storm. So things are split a little bit more, but Ad Nauseam has never seen such a low priority because of how good Galvanic Relay is. And one of the nice benefits of Mishra's Bauble is that it does play well with every single one of our engines. So we mentioned free storm count for Galvanic Relay. It's a 0-mana card for Ad Nauseam, which means you take less damage overall. Even when adding in a Galvanic Relay, we swapped it with the defense grid, and we'll get to defense grid in a moment. But so we gained a converted mana in the deck, but then we lost 3 without 3 Ponders in our deck. So we actually made our overall converted mana value less. So we have more zeros for Ad Nauseam, and then with Echo of Aeons, you get to draw cards post-Echo. So you bobble your opponent, see what they're playing, maybe look at the top card of their deck, spin the wheel, and then you pass the turn if they're lucky enough to get a turn. And then essentially you started the game with 8 cards, which is just so sweet. Really big fan of that.
Yeah, it does a lot of things that we want to do in this deck. And when we were playing it over Rite of Flame, it was still very good. And I think even during that time period, we were still playing 3 Chromoxes and 3 Mox Opals, which is why we're still playing those numbers today. If that needs to change, then we'll change it. But we didn't want to change too far.
Exactly. So one thing to know is we have 22 artifacts, but we still have, and I believe that we counted before we started this. Let's just make sure that we have the correct count right now. I believe it was 29 imprintables still, so Chromox still has a lot of cards to work with here. And Ad
Yeah, it
Nauseam's
does
all the
for
way
sure.
over there. And Echo.
And Echo's even further.
So is it 25
Oh,
then?
Magic Online.
Yeah, it's not the easiest.
25.
Okay, 25. We did it. I've destroyed Magic Online. I'm sorry. But there's still 25 imprintables, which is a really high number to support Chromox, so I still think that's fine. Galvanic Relay in the second copy in the main deck took over Defense Grid, and Defense Grid isn't a bad card. We both love it. But if we're playing all these zeros, something had to give, and it was the worst protection slot, because Galvanic Relay is sort of a hybrid between a protection spell against blue decks and a proactive piece. So what are we going to do to fix this? We need some sort of way to beat Mindbreak Trap. And originally we were like, well, what if we just shove Defense Grid in the board? But if it's going to be in the sideboard, we should probably have something a little bit more flexible that might work with Burning Wish. And Alex suggested, what if we return to Thoughtseize? Alex, it's probably been over a year since we've played Thoughtseize in the sideboard. But if we're cutting the main deck Defense Grid, we're actually gaining protection pieces if you think about it, because we have 4 Veil of Summer, but then we have access to 4 Thoughtseize essentially with this Burning Wish. So what are your thoughts on that? I know that I've been talking for a little bit now.
Yeah, the Thoughtseize has always, like the sideboard Thoughtseize, I don't think we've been doing that since some of the initial iterations of Wishclaw TES and maybe some very warped metagames when perhaps Underworld Breach was legal. But people have been putting more and more Mindbreak Traps into their deck, and it's something we don't have a lot of answers for. I think a lot of times just ignoring it or presenting multiple threats are better ways to beat it than actually answering the Mindbreak Trap directly. But having the Thoughtseize felt free enough, especially with moving one of the sideboard relays into the main deck.
I do love how we started with 4 relay in the board, and then we're like, well, what if we just played 1 in the main deck? And now we're slowly going up to 2.
This is part of my secret plan to cut the Ad Nauseam from TES, but don't tell Bryant in the comments that I'm right.
Never, ever. Actually, that's not true. I can see myself cutting it one day, but that day is not today. I am so excited to play this, and I really do mean that. I think that our deck is going to be more explosive with this Mox Opal due to the consistency of Bauble, but there's also a few other things that I really like. We're going to be able to cast Wishclaw or Burning Wish on turn 1 more consistently to set up turn 2 wins. And it's not that Ponder is bad, but if you think about it like we do with modern Lotus Breach, and if you're unfamiliar with Lotus Breach, I uploaded a sick 5.0 recently that you can check out in the card above, but in that deck, we play Mishra's Bauble because it's a free card that goes to the graveyard to escape for Underworld Breach, and it speeds up our plan. You don't get caught up playing too many 1-drops on turn 1, because unlike in Legacy, you don't have a whole lot of fast mana. But here, we get to advance our gameplay or game plan with Mishra's Bauble while casting cards like Wishclaw, Burning Wish, or Brainstorm on the first turn. You're going to be able to Brainstorm off of Mox Opal and fetch way more than you ever have before. So I think that's a pretty big upside as well. Turn 1 Brainstorm fetch is just beautiful. Alex, do you have any final thoughts before we head on over to match number 1?
No, let's get into it.
I would like to say thank you everyone for watching. I really do appreciate it. And here's to no Ponder. I hope it goes well. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, early access to videos, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, such as theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. Once again, I am joined by the one, the only Alex McKinley. Alex, we lost the die roll. What do you think about this hand against an unknown opponent?
This hand is slow, but it's very functional. It doesn't have our new cards in it, but it's slow.
What are you saying here? Should we ship it back?
I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion, but I think you're itching to mulligan for new cards, so I'm not about to keep this in the blind. And this hand's just like way better.
Well, we're lacking a Lion's Eye Diamond, but it does have a turn 1 Galvanic Relay, and I am down for that. So the question is, I think you bottom the ritual and keep the echo?
Maybe if we keep the dark ritual and draw another black card or a black source, then there's a chance we get to empty the warrens on turn 1. But I think that keeping the echo is in general a higher payoff.
Okay, they're on land.
Lands. Well, I would not like to empty the warrens versus a lands opponent.
Okay. Draw. It's not a card that imprints. We could try to sit pretty. They have 2 cards in hand. The fear is
Wasteland is just so bad, though, right?
Well, we don't have to play our land. We could just pass.
True.
And then try to draw another card that imprints. The only issue is they have 2 cards. If they just go Dark Depth Stage, we lose.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go for it. Just because a crop rotation on the Rite of Flames would hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Alright, imprint the Echo. Cast Burning Wish. We're going to get a little bit of a relay. A relay for 5. And oh my god, why is this so small? That's what she said.
This Magic Online is weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's just terrible user interface.
Yep.
Alright. Pass the turn. What do we... Well, there's a Lion's Eye Diamond in there. A Bauble. Yeah, this looks great. Oh, well, they have Dark Depths. If their last card is Crop Rotation... Well, okay, it looks like it's a loam.
It's like it's just Life from the Loam. That's fine.
Well,
Lotus Petal might give us Ad Nauseam here. So what do we got? We got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana.
Oh, we never said what the Bauble trick was. I meant to say it in the deck tech and we just moved past it. So
I mean,
we can do it now. So the Bauble trick is if you have a Brainstorm, you can't do it with Ponder anymore because Ponder's not on the deck. So you put Ad Nauseam back on top of your deck. In your opponent's upkeep, you cast Veil of Summer with the Bauble trigger to draw on the stack. You sacrifice Lion's Eye Diamonds and you cast the Ad Nauseam using LED mana in their upkeep. It's pretty sweet. I don't think I want this in our deck. We should leave it in exile.
Yeah, speaking of, we can't do anything here because we're mana short of casting Ad Nauseam. And opponent's going to wasteland us again, but that's fine. We'll be able to Ad Nauseam next turn, regardless of what they do.
We could relay again, but I don't think that's a play I want to make.
I agree.
They're going to dredge the loam, so I don't think it matters. We'll just target ourselves.
Yeah.
Brainstorm. That's a good one. I guess I won't cast the Veil of Summer now.
Yeah, we can definitely just cycle this Brainstorm on their end step. See what happens.
Crop rotation
so
stage.
They dredge. Well, interesting that they played both of their lands instead of trying to. I guess they can't Dark Depths us this turn.
They could have if they didn't play 2 lands, right? I guess they wouldn't have.
Yeah, if they didn't wasteland us, yeah.
Okay. Cast the Brainstorm. We don't want relay in our deck, so I'm going to keep the relay in hand.
Yep.
Knowing Alex, every single time that, like, we took 3 mana out of the deck, and I can just see Alex now messaging me and being like, Bryant, I flipped Tendrils, Echo, both Galvanic Relays. I hate this deck. It's going to happen.
I am very bad at casting the card Ad Nauseam. I think that's a fact that both Bryant and I know.
Okay, so we're casting it from 20 life and with a land drop. Let's pop this out so all the people at home can see. We flipped the Tendrils already. Wow, this is just beautiful. Look at that 0.
This feels rather powerful and pretty good.
We don't have an Echo in our deck because we imprinted it, but it's still pretty free to stop here, so I'll stop.
Yeah. Yeah, and our opponent just concedes, so.
That was beautiful. That was so good. Clearly, Mishra's Bauble alone won that game and not the rest of the deck, but, you know, we'll give credit to Bauble where, you know, credit where credit's due.
All right, so what do we want? What do we want out?
Oh,
so
no.
We definitely want our...
I am so bad at this. All right, so we missed one game without the storm count showing. I swear, it's like every time Moto updates, every Wednesday, it's just like it changes my setup. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we definitely want our Chain of Vapors and Abrupt Decays. I guess we're cutting all of our Veils. I'm not a great fan of Galvanic Relay against these like prison matchups with like lands tends to be compost board. But it's not like Veil of Summer has a lot of text outside of protecting an Echo of Eons from Pyroblast, which they probably play some number of. But
if you wanted to, you could board in the Thoughtseize. I think I'd rather have the Relay. Like, we are a Bauble deck now. Like, this card, even if it's just like draw 4 looking for your answer, I think that's fine.
Okay.
I think we just look at it a little differently. Like, it's a super ponder now. Oh, also, look at this hand. That is beautiful. Keep.
Yes, this is a hard cast Echo of Eons hand.
Turn 1 Bog. Draw.
Is this turn 1 hard cast Echo?
We could have done this without the Bauble, but this is still really sweet.
Yeah, I mean, we just get to cast or like get the card post Echo anyway. So
I guess a question I have here is, do we want to Bauble first, or do we want to keep the Bauble out of the deck? I think we probably want to keep it out of the deck, because what if we don't draw artifacts post Echo?
Yeah, I think that delaying that decision just makes a lot of sense.
I got the basic here because we have the Abrupt Decay, and this Mox Opal can represent having green mana, and we're Wasteland proof. Firm is 6. Well, I will sacrifice. All right, let's try to get a little bit more info. Mox Diamond, okay. So they've destroyed a Bauble. They pitched. I mean, really, we didn't lose a whole lot here. Let's draw.
Yeah.
The question is, do we want to play these out?
So we're in the Force of Vigor / Sphere of Resistance trap right now. I think it's likely that they have more effects that destroy an artifact between Beseiju and Force of Vigor. And I think we want to hold them for potential Galvanic Relays.
That's the difference maker, in my opinion. The Tendies. Saga. Diamond. Discards Field of the Dead. And they're passing the turn. 5 cards in hand. Draw.
Okay.
That's pretty close. So we imprint. I guess we could also just Echo, but I don't want to.
Yeah, it's actually a really good draw.
I don't want to Echo into Pyroblast.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana.
I think we just play the Wishclaw pass, and like if they try to Force of Vigor us, we have an untapped land. So then they would have to Vigor in their main phase, or we could go get Pier right now. So we tap 2 lands. I'm sorry, we don't have a red land. I would have had to have played the Verdant. Yeah. I might have messed that up. Alright, I think we just play the Wishclaw with a land up.
I agree.
And that land is going to be Swamp. Goodbye, main deck Tendrils. 1 mana short of Ad Nauseam right now. And you might be thinking, just cast the Echo. That is a fine line. There's nothing wrong with that line. The issue with it, though, is that you're just leaving yourself vulnerable to a Pyroblast when you don't need to.
Yeah.
Wasteland.
And Pyroblast is a card that they certainly boarded in some number. Like, they have all these Mazabiths and other things like that to take out of the deck. So.
Okay, well, that was
Hello.
decent.
Yeah. So now we just have the option to put Ad Nauseam on the stack, and I'm a fan of that generally. So
I believe we have the option to Pier.
Also a good one.
So we have 3 mana floating, and then we have 3 mana in play once this Mox Opal resolves. So that's 6. The magic number for Pier is 9. So the Lion's Eye Diamond brings us from 6 to 9. You could pull your land here, but we're at 48 cards. So you're fetching, you're losing a life, but that doesn't matter when we're at 19. But you are making your deck an odd number, so you actually draw one less card, and I'm not interested in that. We're going to hold priority on the Burning Wish and sacrifice this for 3 black. Something you could do here is if you are short on mana from Peer into the Abyss, right now you could rotate the Wishclaw Talisman or activate the Wishclaw, go grab a Dark Ritual and cast it, and that would give you the extra mana for Peer as well. And the opponent's had enough, they've seen enough.
Writing on the wall.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll take it. That's a match win.
Who needs Ponder? Nice red blasts that you never even got to cast.
That's true. What were your initial thoughts of Bauble this round? Was it impactful?
It was very functional. It drew us an extra card a couple of times, it's not going to look like an all-star, I think, a lot of the time, but Metalcraft felt easy the entire time.
It did.
We just always had it.
All right, well, that's enough of that. Let's head on over to the second match. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. Round 2, and Alex, we've opened up Mishra's Bauble. You know what that means. Snapkeep. We're not even gonna think about mulliganing it. It has Bauble in it. That's how good this card is, right? That's the reason.
Yeah. This is certainly a hand.
What the?
Oh,
that's not good.
We looked up our opponent before this, and they had a giant history of playing Blue-Red Delver.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. So Veil of Summer is the card we're looking for here. We drew another Bauble. Unfortunate. So here, if we had a Ponder, we could theoretically cast it. We don't. We're going to pass the turn. So I guess this is a downside, is if your opponent knows your username is Bryant_Cook and then plays a Chalicer 0. I guess that's bad. Well, I guess we weren't going to beat turn 2 Trinisphere anyway, even if we had Ponder.
Yeah, so we know opponent's playing Moon Stompy because they played the Dun and the Bugbear.
Well, I mean, I would have assumed that anyway. You just have to go with the most probable deck. We want these Chain of Vapors. We want Abrupt Decay. So in the last match, we boarded out all 4 copies of Veil of Summer. I don't think that's the play here. Alex in the last match talked about how Galvanic Relay can be a little bit underwhelming. But I think one thing that Veil of Summer does well is it allows you to beat those Chal 0 draws. Alex, how does Veil of Summer do that?
It just says your spells can't be countered. And that's good enough to beat Chalice the Void on any number except for 1.
But it says blue or black. Isn't that what
it says? Spells can't be countered.
That is correct.
Yeah.
It says draw a card if your opponent casts through a blue or black spell this turn. And then it says spells you control can't be countered. That is a separate clause of blue or black. So it does not care about Chalice of the Void or Chancellor of the Annex or anything else. I was playing it up a little bit there, but I just want to reiterate, it doesn't matter if it's blue or black. Veil of Summer will fight through it. I don't think that play would have happened if my username was Thraben U. I'm just saying. Need to make an alt, Alex. Need to make an alt.
Thraben B.
I don't think Phil has Thraben U. I can just take that one. No one will ever know.
True.
Or I'll do Bosch and Royal. On the play.
Ugh.
I don't think we're allowed to keep this, unfortunately. This is interesting.
This is 3 mana, an Abrupt Decay, and an LED.
What's the bottom here? I think it's Opal.
I agree.
So one thing you can do in this matchup is just mulligan really aggressively for a turn 1. That is a reasonable way to win. But a lot of the mulligan aggressive hands that do win on turn 1 involve an Echo of Aeons. So if your opponent is smart, they will think Leyline of the Void. And here you'll see that our opponent really valued Leyline. And we didn't mulligan to Echo, so that's fine for us. They're on 5 cards. This card doesn't matter at the moment. We don't have Echo, but we could in the future. So it's just something to keep in the back of your mind, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. That is one of these prison versus storm matchups that and there's the Chalice Zero as we predicted.
So you might be thinking, why didn't you play out your Lion's Eye Diamond? That is a fine play, but we still have 2 copies of Veil of Summoner in our deck, and one of the key components of this matchup is Pulverize. I've played out my own Lion's Eye Diamonds enough and then blown them up where I don't love that play anymore. I'd rather sit back and see what my options are, especially when I have something like an Abrupt Decay to back it up.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm just going to be patient here, play the Trot past the turn. I could main phase Brainstorm, but we're not going to take advantage of it. And this way, if my opponent taps mana, I can Brainstorm in response and make sure I don't get Pyroblasted, because sometimes these decks do play Pyroblast in the sideboard for decks like Sneak and Show. Alright, we found another Opal. I think we can just keep the extra lands. We'll fetch for a basic swamp here. So we want to find a payoff spell, and then we have enough answers for Chalice of the Void. You might be thinking Pulverize right now. I still have 2 fetches in my hand that can go get a red source.
Yeah, and we don't have the Burning Wish yet either, so.
Draw. Another Opal, okay. Alex, aren't you glad we aren't playing 4?
Yeah.
Rabblemaster. So we have a pretty interesting decision here. We could destroy the Rabblemaster, or we can go after the Trinisphere. I think going after the Rabblemaster is not what you want to be doing. I think it's just a wrong assessment of what the matchup's about. Instead, we're just going to blow up the Trinisphere on the end step.
Yep. That's where I'm also at, is just answer their lock pieces or go around the Chalice on 0. Because we have 5 more answers to Chalice and 0 in our deck, plus the 4 Burning Wishes. So
they're at 16 as well. You could start to think about natural tendrils, but we're still a ways off. Maybe if they tap the Ancient Tomb a few more times.
Yeah.
Cast the Abrupt Decay. Alright. Untap, draw. Well then, that is certainly a good card. We have Chain of Vapor in our deck.
True.
I think we cast it. We also have 2 Veils.
So we can just like we could play the Bloodstained Mire first, and then we take an extra point of damage, but then we have Veil, Ward, and Chain Up.
I mean,
I guess that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, because you could fetch for Taiga after, or Underground Sea, and you don't have to lose a life.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you just flip 1, it's fine. Alright, so we flip Dark Ritual. Bush Claw, Brainstorm, Chain. Chain? Okay, things are looking okay. Baubles are certainly better than Ponders here, because we'd be at 7 and we'd have to stop flipping.
Yeah.
And why that is Echo of Aeons. Okay, we'll stop there.
I think, yeah.
Because if you were to
land, then we were just better off, but we didn't flip the land, so well.
The reason you stop flipping at 7 is if you accidentally flip the Echo, you can't cast the Chain of Vapor this turn. Let's grab the Volcanic. And let's get that Chalice of the Void out of here. Go home. Okay, so now we just have to finish winning.
Yep.
Cast this Opal. Tap the Opal for red. Rite of Flame. And another Rite of Flame. We only get 3 red off of that because of these ley lines. There is another card that ley line affects in our deck other than Echo. It is Rite of Flame. Sometimes that matters, sometimes it doesn't. Alright, play a Lion's Eye. Play a Lion's Eye. Alex, if we had Grapeshot in our deck, we'd be pretty close to it.
Yeah. Could have done some Chain of Vapor tricks here if we really wanted it.
No, because we'd have to play them into the Chalice. Right? Or you're saying the
Yeah, you're
second
right.
chain of vapor because we
The
flipped
second
both.
chain of vapor, yeah.
My
The
bad.
second chain of vapor.
This is the point where they reveal that they also have a mind break trap.
Yeah, rather sad at that point.
All right. Well, we certainly stole game number 2. That was a pretty lucky draw step we had there. Now we're going into
I
game
don't know.
3 on the draw.
I don't know about stealing anything. We set up a plan and then we executed the plan.
That's true. I mean, we played to our outs and we hit the out, right? Like we allowed ourselves to draw into it by blowing up the Trinisphere instead of the Rabble.
Mm-hmm.
It was a turn 4. Got to put that into the spreadsheet. So here we have a hand that can answer Chalice on 0 or Chalice on 1, but we only have 1 land.
Yeah, this hand loses real hard to Trinisphere or Blood Moon. Our opponent did in fact keep 7.
I don't think we mulligan this. Also, I don't know if I necessarily agree on the blood. Like if they turn 1 Blood Moon us, we usually win those games.
That's fair.
All right, so there's the Blood Moon. Uh-oh. What are you doing here? Chalice 0 into Trinisphere? That's a good hand.
Ugh.
Wow.
All right, well.
We just have to draw running lands.
I like to draw lands for like the rest of the game.
No big deal. We'll just draw lands. It's fine.
Yeah. And they had another Seeming Spirit Guide for the Rabble Master. All right.
We fans, we are not winning this game. Fun fact, you can go ahead and skip forward. We'll keep on getting our face smashed in by goblins, but we're not going to win.
Yeah. Opponent had pretty much the best start possible against us.
So. All right. We did not hit the land. I think it's safe to call it here. Sometimes you get got. It happens. That's a part of Magic. No need to get upset or, act like a child. It's fine. We'll see you in the 3rd match. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and Mana tokens as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Match 3, we're on the draw. Alex, what do you think of these 7 cards?
I feel like this is one of those trap hands where it's like, man, we got all this mana and we have like a protection spell that we can't quite cast and nothing to do with it.
That's one way to look at
7,
it. So you're 34% every single turn to draw an action spell. In every hand that you play with this deck, you are usually missing something. The average hand doesn't have a protection spell, a broken acceleration piece, and by that I mean Dark Ritual or Lines of Diamond and a tutor plus lands. Like those sort of hands, those are the top tier of hands. Most hands are missing 1 piece. This hand is only missing 1. I think the difference here is that we can't cast the Veil of Summer, and if we draw Burning Wish, we also can't cast it.
Yeah, we are heavily constricted on our mana here. So this hand is like close, but like we need at least 2 pieces, 2 more cards to make this hand functional, which is a lot. And this hand just functions.
Yeah. So the question here is, do you keep the Bauble or the Brainstorm?
I'm like tempted to bottom the Brainstorm here and just like go turn 1 Swamp Bauble you. And I guess we're on the draw. And just like try to maximize our turn 2 percentage by not even having to cast the Brainstorm. Because right now we have 7 mana, so we just need to find 1 more mana and we can do something powerful here. We can actually even go Verdant Catacombs, Bauble, go, and Bauble ourselves on their upkeep and then fetch on their end step if we need to. Our opponent played a Windswept Heath, so playing around a Wasteland effect is one of the reasons why we don't want to Bauble ourselves on our turn.
So we could have bobbled them in their upkeep, but I am more interested in bobbling myself to see the draw step.
Yeah. And right now we do have something powerful to do on turn 2. We can definitely echo with a bunch of mana floating.
For
or
sure.
Echo with a Claw in play. So we have a couple of options.
That's also assuming that the Bauble or our draw step don't draw anything good for us.
Yeah. And we only put good cards in our deck, right?
Swamp? That is not what I was expecting here.
Yeah.
What are we facing?
Huh. Well,
guess we keep the
that
right.
does it. Yeah. That casts Ad Nauseam, which I am very inclined to put on the stack here.
Are we... So I think it's unlikely that they're on a blue deck, but do we just want to think about it? Like, is there any blue deck that has this start?
It would have to be like some 4-color deck, and even then, like if your 4-color sans red deck is playing like Uro, I don't think you can afford to play basic Swamp in your deck. So I'm inclined to think that there's some sort of junk deck, maybe black-white. I don't know. I think it's incredibly unlikely that our opponent has blue cards in their deck. The CTF sock deck was a Yorion deck, so I'm not too worried about that.
There's one card in my head right now that is sticking out as a card that could potentially stop us here. And they don't have it. It would have been Opposition Agent. All right, we flipped Alex's favorite card, Galvanic Relay. Let's go. All right. So there's some starting mana. I like that. We're at 7 now. Go. So we have enough mana to veil or to relay into... Okay, we can play Artifact Mana, Relay, and hold up Veil of Summer. The question is, would we rather keep flipping for a potential win? I think the answer is yes.
Brian, we just have Tendrils of Agony. We just have it. This Rite of Flame makes 2 mana.
Okay. Well, it makes 3 mana, but...
yeah. It's +2.
It's also free to flip, so I'm going to flip. All right, we'll stop there. Technically, it's not it's really not free. So what is the most likely card that they could cast here?
Abrupt Decay.
Yes. So flipping is the correct move, because while we didn't hit it, let's say that we stopped there, went to go do our thing, and then they just besaged us or abrupt decayed us, and we ended up being a mana short.
Yeah.
Oh. No, I had to do it this way.
Yeah.
So abrupt decay or besage you here would actually stop us. Add 3 black. Even flipping both copies of Galvanic Relay, we still did it. If you could tell 2018 Bryant right now that we're playing main deck Tendrils, a 6-drop and 2 3-drops in our main deck, he would think you're absolutely bananas. Like, he wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, so there's like a whole litany of cards I was scared about there, and our opponent had none of them. Do we think that they're like some kind of junk Maverick deck?
I think they're probably not a blue deck. I think, like, they showed us Swamp, but I think I'd rather just have answers in Relay than holding up Veil of Summer, especially on the draw. Like, Veil on the draw is not very good. If you're on the play, I could see the argument, but here I think I just want the better deck.
Yep.
So Alex, let's talk about something that we chatted a little bit about before we went live. So without Ponder, you're less likely to search up a blue land on the first turn. Do you still think that this is the correct mana base despite not having Ponder?
Maybe is my answer. I think that there are things that we could do that might improve it. Like, so obviously we have a lot fewer blue cards in the deck, so that means that one of the blue lands is probably quote unquote cuttable. So what does that mean? Because we don't need to fetch blue mana as often, and we've often talked about how Volcanic Island is the worst land in the mana base. It would either be the Volcanic or the Trop that goes, but the green mana is really, really important against blue decks, and having 3 mountains is also really important. So I think it's good. We could definitely cut for another fetch land, though.
Holy moly. Keep.
Hello.
So
this
I'm
is
going
turn
to
one.
share a tidbit that I told Alex about before we went live, and that is the Epic Storm is a base red deck at this point. And Alex, what is the second most common color in the Epic Storm?
Green at this point.
It is in fact green. We have 9 green cards. We are not a base blue-black deck. We are a red-green Storm deck. Whoever printed Modern Horizons 2 had us in mind, clearly.
I mean, I think we still have a couple more black cards, but it's close.
No, we have, it's red and then green and then black.
Sure. Interesting.
Wait, am I wrong? I think I wasn't counting Abrupt Decay for black. Okay, you're right. We have a couple more black cards. Damn. So we're Rakdos Splash Green. I am so sad now.
Either way, we're Junstorm, so...
So we could sit here and try to just draw a mana for the Ad Nauseam. I don't think I'm interested in that.
I think there's a lot of things that could go wrong here.
I just want a peanut butter and jam.
Yeah. So if you notice the way we play our artifacts here, we're actually playing them in the reverse order that we usually recommend to play around a Force of Vigor effect. And very importantly, we're not playing
Why is that?
The LED before the Burning Wish.
Because we don't want it to get destroyed by a Force of Vigor. We still have 4 mana on the battlefield. We're putting Echo on the stack. Uh-oh, are we getting blasted?
Is our opponent playing Jund? No.
They have a Veil of Summer. Okay. Sure.
Well, that's obnoxious.
Well, the defense grid certainly does help beat that. We can't Echo here. That's a bummer. So I think we're going to pass the turn.
Yeah.
That's wild. So we saw a swamp in game 1. Are they on Golgari Depths? Or is it just Maverick?
It feels like it's green-black Depths. That would make sense. Second Bayou.
Oh, it's Nic Fit.
Nic Fit!
Okay.
All right. Let's go.
Let's get wild. There's the relay. Let's cast Brainstorm.
I want to put this swamp back in our deck.
Fine. Alex gets what he wants. Sure, we'll grab Underground Sea, play a bad land. So I could play Volcanic here. A card that is likely to be in their sideboard is Choke. And by playing out the Badlands, you're just hedging a little bit. And I feel like it's a pretty free decision. Play the Wish Claw. Play out this Chrome Mox. We are not going to imprint. It's just going to be a Dark Steel, whatever it's called. Just like a 0-mana artifact that lives. I can never remember. Dark Steel Pendant, is that it? Alex, you have Scryfall. What is
it? Dark Steel Relic.
Ah, Relic. Okay. I think Pendant's the one that like scries. It's like 1 and tap it, and it like scries essentially.
I don't know. When did Mirrodin come out? 2004?
Well, that would have been in Dark Steel. It's indestructible.
When did Dark Steel come out?
2003, I think. I was a child.
I was 6 or 7, you know. Prime Magic playing age.
I mean, you have a Scryfall up. I'm the one recording. You could be doing some typing. One of Alex's monitors is literally just always Scryfall, so don't let him lie to you. Scavenging Ooze, that's fine. And they're strongly representing...
Dark Steel Relic didn't come out until New Phyrexia.
The one that scries one?
The one that scries one?
Dark Steel Pendant is the one I was asking about. Alright, so we...
yeah, that came out in Dark Steel, which is 2004.
Okay, so you're right on the year. Good for you. Got some Baubles. Cast this Brainstorm. Oh, hello. Let's put back...
A lot of mana.
This.
So now we get to Peer.
We do get to Peer. Even if they have...
I would like to...
Veil of Summer, we can set it up so that it won't matter.
Yeah, I would like to avoid giving them a Wishclaw Talisman this turn, I think.
We were never going to give them Wishclaw.
Yeah.
Don't you fret, my friend. Sacrifice diamond. Sacrifice this. 8 mana. We will grab Peer into the Abyss. And we will go straight into the Abyss. The key is not targeting your opponent.
Yeah.
Lovely. Alex, we drew the basic. We're going to have to put it back into our deck.
We got a bunch of brainstorms to do that with, so we could even cast the Thoughtseize if we wanted to like double check. But if we do that, then I guess we could bounce our own Witchclaw Talisman if we give it to them or blow it up.
Well, if they veil, we'd have to respond to it. But yes, we could make that play.
We have another Chrome Mox in Exile that we can use.
Yeah. We're just thinking of how I want to sequence this is all.
Yeah.
I think the Thoughtseize is the right move.
Alright, opponent, do you have another Veil Summer?
They do, so we're going to respond to this. We are going to...
I mean, we don't have to, right? If they get the Claw after the veil resolves, then it doesn't actually get hexproof.
If you're wrong, I'm going to be very, very upset. Do I want to trust Alex here? Let's see if Alex is right. So this fizzles. Let's tap this for a blue. Play Chrome Mox, and I'm going to imprint the Ad Nauseam. Buy Ad Nauseam. Tap for a black. Let's tap this for a black as well. We will activate Witchclaw Talisman using a red mana. Hold priority, cast Chain of Vapor. Sacrifice this Volcanic Island, pick up the Opal. Sacrifice Underground Sea, pick up Chrome Mox. Sacrifice the Badlands. Sure, let's pick up this Chrome Mox too. Why not? Who needs permanent mana sources? This is our last Burning Wish, but we still have the main deck Tendrils. Let's bauble them for information. They have a Collector Oof on top. Oof indeed. Play out this Bauble. If only we had a Grapeshot in our deck, like the comment section always tells me.
I did mention that playing that over the Thoughtseize.
You did.
But it's not often you run into other decks playing Veil of Summer.
Our opponent also had multiple Veils this game. I'm going to cast a Brainstorm, try to get rid of a couple of these lands. That's weird. It like stopped priority. Did you see that? That was odd.
It's a bug that happens after you undo. These days, it just gives you priority on all of your things.
Oh, that's lovely. Not at all how Magic should work. I guess like you could
exactly how Magic should work, but yeah.
I mean, if you cast a spell and your opponent passes back and then you get it before it resolves, that's weird, right? Or are you saying that you have it immediately and then it goes to bed?
It's your auto holding priority is what's happening right now, basically.
Okay, that's way more fair then. Okay, I thought you were saying that you got it back after. I was like, that seems very unfair.
No.
So, Alex, we're about to make 50 goblins. I know how much you love goblins, so if you're going to feel nauseous or anything, please just look away and pretend it didn't happen.
I'll mute my microphone, keep the video clean.
Okay, so we're going to cast this. We have 7 cards in hand. Pass the turn. 50 goblin tokens. So let's talk worst case scenario here. Well, I guess the worst case scenario is that they actually have a Collector Roof on top, but the actual worst case scenario is if they have a sweeper. We have an Echo to do it all again.
Yep. And if opponent actually has has some sort of sweeper here, it's very unlikely that they can also play the Collector Roof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's tap, And then they conceded 50 goblins.
Let's get it done.
All right, we're 2-1, 2 rounds left. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us.
Okay.
All right, so we're back for the fourth match. We're on the play. Die rolls are sweet. How do you feel about this?
Yikes.
We're essentially starting the game with an opal in play. Storm 4. I'll be honest, I kind of want to keep it. Is that bad?
I would not keep this hand, but I'm not the one at the Magic Online controls.
I want to make the best decision we can. So you think we should mulligan this?
I would not keep this hand on 7. I'd keep this on 6 though.
Okay. It's a hand. We'll try it out. Opponent going to 5. We're on the play. Polluted Delta. I'm going to hold the pedal.
Yep.
I was thinking about playing it out there, but if we decide to relay, it is an extra storm. Scalding Tarn. Volcanic Island. So they're on Delver and they mulled the 5. I guess it could be Doomsday. I mean, Doomsday usually doesn't have red anymore, but I've definitely faced your opponent on a lot of Ant-style decks in the past, and it seems like Doomsday's a deck that they could play. I don't believe Ant plays Scalding Tarn, so I don't think they're on that. Draw.
Yeah, not unless they're on like one of the 3-color versions, so.
This is interesting.
So this is a hard cast Echo if we want it.
Yeah, but against the blue deck, is that really what we want to be doing?
Yeah, and it did feel like our opponent mulliganed pretty hard to force. I think taking another turn to get some information is not bad, or just putting the Burning Wish on the stack is also an option this turn.
I think if we do that, we have to play out the Lotus Petal, so I'm going to pass.
Yeah.
I don't really just want to play Burning Wish into Daze. Prismatic Vista.
Prismatic Vista.
So they're not a Daze deck. So that means that we can probably just play the Burning Wish for Galvanic Relay if we want it. They did not shuffle off Pounder. Interesting. Draw. Opal. I still think we want to pair Underground. Oh, I can't pair Underground Sea with... damn, I should have looked at my fetches. This is on me. This is on me. I could have gotten Trop Badlands. It's fine. This actually might secretly be better, assuming that this resolves, because Dark Ritual can be cast off Underground Sea, and then we have the Badlands for red. They grab a basic land. Brainstorm.
Sure. Resolves.
Burning Wish on the stack. They force pitching Ice Fang Quaddle. Okay, so we know that there's green in their deck.
A lot of colors.
They're fetching. I'm a little nervous here based on the card we have in hand. So they're 4-color. There it is. I knew it was a possibility. So we're in a tough spot here. They have Teferi. Can't cast the Echo. Draw. Bummer. Have to pass the turn here. So what we're really looking to draw into is a Galvanic Relay.
Yeah.
They find a Brainstorm. Not that it's relevant here. Stoneforge Mystic. Wow. Okay. Not that it's relevant here, but Mishra's Bauble does draw through Narset, which is really nice. They pick up a Cauldron.
It's gonna kill us real fast, but we have a couple of draw steps here to figure it out.
Draw another Opal. Pass the turn.
Yeah.
They activate the Cauldron. We're taking 5. So we know that they still have a Teferi in hand that they haven't cast. Draw. Do we want to brainstorm on their turn and lose a card, but get to look at one new card. I think that might actually be worth it because we have this Dead Echo.
Yep. Yeah, our hand contains a couple of dead cards anyway, and we're not getting to untap, so this is the best way to see 2 cards. As like awful as it sounds.
Brainstorm. And in our set, we picked up a Bauble that is, I guess it's equally bad here.
Yeah, I mean, it gives us Metalcraft, so I don't hate it.
And then we're putting yourself dead here by fetching.
Yeah. I think our hand is meaningfully better.
Draw.
Oof.
I don't want to show our opponent the Baubles. Let's just go to game 2. So then 4-color Stoneblade. Wild. Okay. So we want to board in the carpets. It's pretty simple. We want the Abrupt Decays, and it looks like I accidentally boarded in a Chain of April. Let's get that out of here. And then the last copy of Relay. Alex, how are we boarding for the control matchups now that we've added in Bauble?
Turns out we're just going to submit the same 75 post board as we did with Ponder in our main deck. We're just going to board all the Baubles, and this is the exact same deck.
All right, so let's see how it goes. I guess
that is one of the beauties of this list is that we know that our sideboard configuration against all the blue decks is just great. We don't have to sacrifice that.
For sure. I guess we could have shown our opponent the Bauble, because if we were going to board them out, we just lost a little bit of equity there.
Yeah.
It's weird. So choosing to play around Daze on our second turn wasn't the worst decision, but it ended up biting us because we had to wait a turn to play Burning Wish, and then we couldn't hardcast the Echo on the turn after, so we played around a card and it ended up losing us the first game, which was sort of unfortunate.
Yeah, it's kind of brutal.
So this is Relay. I mean, I don't know if I want to go all in. I think we're just going to play it nice and slow.
Yeah, one of the problems with turn 1 Relay traditionally is that you draw all these cards and then you just like can't cast all of them, so it doesn't really matter.
I am going to play out the Taiga. Basically, I just don't want to play the Delta because I want to keep this available for fetching. They pick up an island and do Ponder. They did not shuffle on the Ponder. We'll take a draw. I still think we're not supposed to go all in, but let's just play our spells. Like, this is just as scary as Pier.
Yep. Opponent's definitely thinking hard about this.
Force pitching Ponder. We will pass the turn. Flooded Strand. Draw. Okay, we didn't need that past the turn. Volcanic Island. Main phase Brainstorm. Vista. Are we seeing a Stoneforge here? Looks like the answer is yes. Okay,
Ryan, I saw a tweet the other day talking about how we should stop main phase brainstorming. That gave me a good chuckle.
Yeah, I don't want to make fun of others. Let's just try playing Claw here. They have 4 cards. We know one of them is Cauldra. And it's another force. Pitching Narset.
On team, not let any tutors resolve, so.
I mean, it's wise if I can just go get Relay. They're on 3 cards now, and they can put the Cauldra into play. So we have about 3 draw steps to hit an action spell. They play a Narset instead. Okay.
That's kind of brutal.
They grab a Brainstorm.
They find a Brainstorm.
Draw.
Oof.
We haven't really drawn any of the cards that make this a good matchup for us. Not that Carpet would be good here in this particular situation, but we do have 3 Relays in our deck right now. Carpet's usually pretty good.
Yeah, I would love to draw a relay, or even just another piece of action.
They found a force of will, so
Gosh
now we
darn
want to
it.
find
Oh,
relay.
we know they have a blue card because of Brainstorm, right? I
I
mean,
think we
are they
just
willing
wait
to
to see if we
force it?
draw a Veil.
Yeah, I think we only have like one turn to wait.
Well, we're
We're
taking...
kind of in the same situation we were
No,
last
that's not
game.
true. We're taking 6 here.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So they cast Ponder. They did not shuffle. They have not shuffled off a Ponder in this match yet, so they're certainly running a little bit warm. We go to 8. Draw. Not really what we wanted here. So something we could do is play out all of our artifacts so that way we could brainstorm, but that means that we lose a Rite of Flame on the critical turn. I
Yeah.
think I might be okay with that. But also, like, I'm wondering if they're sitting on Pyroblast because they've they fetched this pretty early and then have been sitting on it. So we could just keep Brainstorm for potential Storm count next turn. I think I'm just going to pass. And a Brainstorm. Not loving my odds here. I think our best draw is actually just the main deck copy of Tendrils.
Yeah.
We're going to go to 2. Ouch. And they're just passing back. I think we're supposed to fetch to thin to increase our odds. The difference between 2 and 1 doesn't really exist.
Yeah, not at this point. We're not interested in casting Beer into the Abyss.
All
At
right.
this point.
Oh, way too late. Way too late. Let's try to make this look innocent, and we'll just play a Wish Claw. They just immediately force it. Yeah, Alex, we got buried.
Force all of our tutors, but yeah, I guess this works out for our opponent.
I mean, it's a valid strategy. I mean, you can't complain. Like, they did their thing. I don't want to be someone that just complains because we lose. They had a plan. Their plan worked. It happens. We never drew Veilsummer in 2 games, though, so this plan looked better than it might have been. But they got us, so we're now 2-2 with 1 match left to go.
Yeah.
Want early access to articles at theepicstorm.com? Become a member of our Patreon to get articles 7 days early, on top of other sweet benefits, and help us pay our website team. You can sign up at patreon.com/theepicstorm. We're back for the 5th and final match. Once again, I am joined by Alex McKinley. And Alex, I think we're going to win this one. I can just feel it in my bones. I hope you're ready.
Yeah, we get to do our brainstorm or our Bauble plus fetchland trick here.
That we do. So, hypothetically speaking, Alex, let's say we're fortunate enough to win this match number 5. We finish with a very average record of 3-2, hypothetically speaking. Do you think that this league was influenced at all by the lack of Ponder?
Not at all.
I would agree with that. Well, we definitely don't want this, so we will fetch.
Yeah.
And their upkeep, that is. Just to be extra annoying. Alright, let's go search up an Underground Sea. Once again, we have the double polluted delta, so I cannot get Taiga with this, but I still think we just want to grab the Underground. Well, that's a good one. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that card's pretty good. Yeah.
If you're into winning or whatever, it's fine. Basic Swamp.
Huh.
Honestly, even if they Thoughtseize us here, we are fine. So let's say they cast Thoughtseize, and they do, because that's what Basic Swamp does. What we do is we put Ad Nauseam on the bottom with Wish Claw on the top, and it just gives us a turn 3 Ad Nauseam through discard.
Yeah.
You got it. It doesn't even matter what they discard here, because we're just going to imprint the other spell onto Chromox, play out Lotus Petal, play a land, play Wish Claw, pass. You might be thinking, how did Bryant figure this out so quickly? The answer, thousands of matches against Swamp Thoughtseize decks. It's a pretty common play pattern.
Yep. It's just one of those reps things.
Ooh, they actually took the Chrome Mox.
Wow. Bryant getting outplayed at his own game here.
Well, let's settle down, okay? I don't know if I'm being outplayed for them choosing to discard the card Chrome Mox, Alex, okay?
Opponent clearly has thousands and one games of the matchup.
Jeez, some people. Some people. You invite them onto your YouTube channel and they treat you like this. Alright, Wishclaw Talisman pass.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Wishclaw is 5. Yeah, so if our opponent Thoughtseizes us, we have a meaningful decision to make about whether or not we want to cast the Veil, and I think we will. I don't know. There's no reason to, because even if they take the Rite of Flame, we can still Ad Nauseam next turn because we have 4 mana between our 3 permanents in play, the Polluted Delta in our hand, and
A Reanimator?
the dark ritual that this Wishclaw Talisman is going to go find.
I mean, I guess you maybe, I don't know. Is Young Pyromancer a common Reanimator avatar? I don't know. Probably
it just
not.
came out a couple of months ago.
Chains of Mephistopheles. You got it. I've been chained. Straight to the rocks.
Okay. Resolves.
Draw Ad Nauseam. Alright, so you do have a decision here on whether or not you wanted to give up Wishclaw to go get Dark Ritual or to fetch. And I think I just want the Claw in play. I don't know how meaningful it actually is, but I think I just would rather have the Claw. You could also activate.
I would have.
You could also activate right now for Dark Ritual and keep up Petal. Do we want to do that?
Yeah, I think I would have activated it anyway, just to not take the damage from the fetch. But
so you would have given up the Petal.
Yeah,
I think that's reasonable. I mean, I'm going to defend my bad play here and say that this way we have an extra artifact for Metalcraft, but I don't think it actually matters. I think the 1 life is probably a little bit more valuable, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, this is the marginal things that like you get rewarded for or punished for over hundreds of games, right?
Yeah.
Like,
all right, let's have a nice McKinley Ad Nauseam where we reveal all of the bad cards and die. There we go.
Right. Why did you start talking?
So Rite of Flame makes 3. We can go Petal Right, Relay, and still have a full grip. If I flip, I risk dying.
Yeah, opponent could also have like Nether Void.
I'm not gonna play around Nether Void. Get out of here.
All right.
Is it worth potentially dying here? Or should we just accept the large relay? I think the relay is probably just the play.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Especially because we get to leave up Veil of Summer, right?
Exactly. Alright, let's make 3 red. And 1-sided Wheel of Fortune that plays through Chains of Mephistopheles.
So we flip Rite of Flame.
Bunch of mana.
So the top of our deck was just cracked.
It's fine. I mean, I think it's just an unnecessary risk because we're so likely to untap and just win anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
If our opponent casts an Icequake here, I'm going to lose it.
I don't even know what that card does.
You look it up on Scryfall. You kids and not knowing what old cards do? Come on.
Destroy target land. It's just a Stone Rain?
I thought Icequake had a clause about snow permanence.
Yeah, if the land was a snow land, it deals 1 damage to the land controller.
Make snowlands have a drawback. It's irrelevant. The opponent being very deliberate here. They're activating Wishclaw Talisman. Well, they knew that I had Veil of Summer, so I will cast that. I believe we discard a card, so we can discard this Bloodstained Mire, and then we draw a card. And we, oh wow, I love Chains of Mephistopheles. Look at that, great card. Every deck should play it. Best card in the format. You watcher, go buy some Chains of Mephistopheles. I don't care how expensive they are, and you give me more good cards, please. Lotus Petal, Mox Opal.
And now we just have Metalcraft when we didn't before 2 ways because they gave us the clawback, and we have this Lion's Eye Diamond.
Pretty good. I think we can actually double Tendrils here, if you're into that sort of thing.
What kind of sicko are you, Bryant?
I don't think I should answer that question while recording, Alex.
We don't even have to crack the LED to double Tendrils.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, pretty good.
Right.
Didn't even need the diamond, clearly. Had it all.
Yeah, we definitely also couldn't have just gone like Wishclaw Veil and been fine.
Oh, no, we needed to do this. Well, what else would we have done? There was no other line. There's one path to victory. Turn
yeah,
4,
okay. All right.
This league has been a weird one.
Yeah, leagues are noisy tonight.
I'm going to give credit there to the Cyborg Tendrils, not the main deck Tendrils. I feel like the Cyborg one is really the one that earned it.
Viewers, I want you in the comments to go back and look at which one he actually cast last.
I think it would have been the main deck Tendrils, but I'm giving it to the Cyborg one. Do we want to change how we're boarded here? So we're interested in Veil of Summer, we're interested in Abrupt Decay and Chain. So there's some card that has to give here. What should it be?
So I wonder if Burning Out Echo is reasonable, right? So their Chains of Mephistopheles deck, they're probably a Leyline of the Void deck. So they probably like a bunch of answers to Echo, but like also going fast is a good plan against these types of decks, and Echo is part of that plan.
They're also a discard deck. One of the easiest ways that you can win against discard decks is just having Echo. So
yeah,
once again, I think I'm actually just okay boarding out Echo on, or boarding out Veil on the draw. And even against the mono black deck, I think our deck is so good that we just accept that, hey, we're on the draw with Veil. On the play, I think we immediately board it back in. But on the draw, I think, wow, this is a good hand. You just want the best deck possible.
Yep.
So we need 1 mana to cast a Relay. Basic Swamp. Thoughtseize. Come on.
Down goes Burning Wish.
Take the Brainstorm. Come on.
You know you want to. The Brainstorm looks so juicy to fix up this hand. Aw.
Vexing, this hand was already perfect. Okay. So I'm going to Bauble first here to see if I want the top card. And I think I'm actually going to main phase this Brainstorm, looking for a diamond. Chain of Vapor, not really interested in that. So I'm going to fetch. And I realize I could possibly Brainstorm lock myself here, but there's also the fact that our opponent doesn't know we have Echo in hand. So if we leave ourselves with 1 or 2 cards in hand, there's a good chance that they just discard this.
Yep, we could just get him to Torroct here and, or Thoughtseized again. Like if we put back land and then Rite of Flame on top of our deck.
I think I actually want to put the other land there. But yeah, a Hem here would actually be very good for us.
Yeah, and so we don't keep the Rite of Flame in our hand, so if in case they have another Thoughtseize, they just take our Echo.
They're forced to take our
Echo. They're obligated, yeah. I don't know, I would have left the Rite of Flame on top, but that's me. Because leaving the Rite of Flame on top gives us hardcast Echo next turn.
Assuming that nothing bad happens to us? Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, but in the cases where bad, quote-unquote, bad things happen to us, that's just good for us anyway, right?
All right, I guess I'm drawing them both here. Oh,
I guess we're drawing them both anyway.
Yeah, so I actually accidentally made the right play.
Good job, Bryant.
So
Both of
proud.
us definitely saw that this was going to happen. We definitely remember this Bauble draw.
So proud. Had it
Yes!
the whole time. I would have put Rite of Flame on top. My name is Alex. I'm gonna have to get used to playing with Bauble again. We haven't played it in at least a year, right? Like it's been a year since the last time we played that card.
Over a year. It would have been last May, I think.
Okay.
May of 2021.
Let's go.
Anyway,
Grab a land out of our deck, cast this Echo that we get to cast because I perfectly stacked our deck. I don't want anyone to forget that the genius that I am created the opportunity here that some Storm players would have missed out on.
all right.
All right, cast Brainstorm.
Storm is 4, 5, 6, 7.
Fine. I'll just cast this card that puts all my good cards in exile.
Our opponent can't touch them.
Galvanic Relay. It's so good.
Your turn, opponent.
No mana in there, but that's okay. We have this diamond on the battlefield. We'll be just fine. Even if we get hit by Hymn to Torok here, does not matter.
Opponent is very carefully poring over all of our cards. I wonder...
What the red is for? Because that's what I was thinking. Like, so far we've seen a bunch
yeah,
of...
that was my question. Yeah.
Maybe Pyroblast? They have a chains. I don't care about that card.
Our chain beats their chain.
True. Printed like 12 years apart. One is clearly better than the other.
Yep.
Actually, that's not even true. They're definitely not 12 years apart. Chainsmith Mephistopheles, I believe, was 94. And
Yeah.
Onslaught was like 2002.
Yep. 8 years. Well, we've got some options this turn. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 mana.
Let's make 3 mana to start. And then we'll do black, blue. Chain of Vapor targeting my lines at diamond. Let's increase the storm count a little bit. We can also cast Brainstorm to discard these 2 lands.
You were right about Red Elemental Blast.
Wait, so we discard these 2?
We could also just put Ad Nauseam on this deck, right?
Why do you always want to take the most boring lines that win, Alex? I'm over here just trying to have fun, and you're just like, take the winning line, Bryant. It's fine. It's fine.
Notably, we do play the Witchclaw Talisman from our hand here, so we get to keep the other Witchclaw Talisman in exile through our Lion's Eye Diamond here.
Grab the Ad Nauseam. You'll note that there's no copy of Echo of Aeons in our deck, and no copy of Galvanic Relay. We do have the Tendrils, though. From 17, Storm 5.
So in other words, you're saying this Ad Nauseam should be bonkers.
Bonkers? Like you're from Boston?
Yeah.
Well, would you say that starts bonkers? This is certainly not a McKinley Ad Nauseam. This is a good Ad Nauseam.
Yeah, and the LED is even initial mana because we have the floating Burning Wish in exile.
All right, so we revealed the Tendrils. That was a cool 19 cards. No big deal.
19 cards off of 19 life, I guess.
17 life? I believe you're at 17. We've activated 3 fetches, so yes, 17. While Alex may be really good at deck building, he's not so good at counting. Not good at counting.
I'm pretty sure that we discarded some of those fetches to a Lion's Eye Diamond. So
we were definitely at 17. You want to go back and look at the tape?
Tell me in the comments. Am I wrong? Were we at 19 or were we at 17?
Okay, you might have been right. We definitely discarded those fetches. Why do I feel like we were at 17? Oh, we echoed. We echoed. We fetched to cast. Okay, we were both right. We did discard those fetches to add to the Lion's Eye Diamond, but we were at 17 because we fetched and then we echoed. You've been lured.
Anyway, our
Alex
opponent is like
McKinley.
hilariously dead here.
Oh no, no changing the topic. No changing the topic. And they've un-F6'd and just slowly pondering over all of the things that they can do. I think we should Thoughtseize them. They've been making us discard this entire time. I think we should make them discard. How do you feel about that, Alex?
Let's get some use out of this card. Yeah, see what else is in their deck, because I'm kind of interested.
Let's grab the sideboard Thoughtseize, target them with it. This is where they were sitting on double gut shot the whole time. Ah, wow.
Opponent chooses to concede rather than show us their hand.
That's just dirty. Okay, so this is the deck list we played tonight, Alex. The Epic Storm 13.0 with Mishra's Bauble over Ponder. What were your thoughts?
The deck felt really functional. I didn't miss Ponder at all. And the Baubles did the Bauble thing. We always had Metalcraft. So what did we lose to? We lost to a 4-color control deck in which we didn't draw any of our Veils of Summer or Galvanic Relays, which I think is just on the bad end of variance for us. And I'd be happy to continue to play that matchup. And again, post-board were the same configuration we've been submitting since Modern Horizons 2.
Yeah,
so
I feel very favored in those matchups. Like, it looked bad because our deck didn't function. But, like, if you wanted to play money matches, like, I would do that all day, TES versus blue decks. It's just our deck didn't do the thing, and sometimes that happens.
Yep, and then against Moon Stompy, they had 3 very good hands, and that's going to be hard to beat no matter what cards are in our deck.
I would agree with that. And sometimes you just lose. Like, that happens. There's no reason to be upset or anything. Like, if you think about it, we finished the league with a 60 win percentage. It's not amazing, but I think it's fine, especially for the first night of trying out a new list. Like, we're still figuring some stuff out. Will the Thoughtseize be in this list forever? Who knows, but I think it's fine enough. I think the main deck feels sort of locked down. I mean, we've barely changed it over the last year. If you look at, like, the changes, it's like 2 defense grid to 1 defense grid, 1 relay to 2 relay. Like, that's not that big of a shift.
Yeah, and we played some white cards for a while, but again, that's not like a real shift.
Any final thoughts before we say goodbye to everyone, Alex?
No, please subscribe, hit that notification bell.
Where can all the Storm fans find
social media
you?
things? You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Vivaris_, or you can find me in Discord, in the Storm Discord. I'm pretty active there. Feel free to DM me. You can also find me on theepicstorm.com writing the TES Primer series, the ABCs of TES.
Very good series. I will admit, I don't like giving you too much credit, but you've been crushing that.
Thank you, Bryant. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Take care. And as always, keep storming. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.